My name is Mark, aka Create Lifestyle, and I want to talk to you a little bit about creating your reality and what this reality is. What I do is I help people break out of the matrix so that they can experience freedom, abundance, peace of mind while leaving a powerful legacy. What is the matrix? It basically is this whole construct that we're living in that was created by the values, laws, and rules of the dominant society to control people, basically. And we've been raised in it and we're stuck in it. And what is that all about? That's go to school, go to work, get a good job, raise your family, pay your bills, rinse and repeat, day in, day out, week in, year out. And 10 years go by, 20 years go by, 30 years go by, and beyond. And when you add it up, what are you left with? In a lot of cases, not a whole lot. So this is all about breaking out of those patterns and beginning to control your destiny. And how do we do this, and how do we even understand this? We understand this through these 7 hermetic principles, which are hidden rules of reality. The message basically explains that life's not random. It's beneath the everyday events or these universal laws. They quietly relate how life is governed and how reality really works. Most of us go through life and we don't understand this at all. So I'm going to break some of this down. These teachings, they come from Hermeticism, and it's from a person or deity or whatever you want to call him, from thousands of years ago. Some say that he was half God and half man, but he came up with these, what is known today as Hermetic principles. They come from his name, which is Hermes, and he has these 7 laws that basically explains how reality works. And these 7 laws are mentalism. That's the first one. It basically explains that everything is mental. The universe, it operates like a vast consciousness. Your thoughts are not passive. They're shaping actively what's possible. So you begin to wonder are you creating? What are you creating? Are you doing it consciously or unconsciously? Most of us are doing it unconsciously. And then the next law is the law of correspondence. This is all about patterns. Patterns repeat at every level of existence. Your inner world mirrors your outer world. To change your circumstances, you got to first change what's happening inside of you. There's all kinds of patterns to the universe. We're basically a fractal, which is like a small, tiny part of the whole, but inside of each of these parts is the whole, if that makes any sense. One of the old philosophers from 1,000 years ago by the name of Rumi, he said, you're not a drop in the ocean, you're an ocean in the drop. So think about that for a moment. The law of vibration. Everything is in motion. It has a frequency, including your thoughts and your emotions. What you consistently feel and focus on determines what you attract. So it's not through any kind of superstition. It's through resonance, which is vibrating. So when you vibrate high, you attract good things to you. Polarity is the next one is polarity, which is the law of opposite. They're not separate forces, but they're different degrees of the same thing, like fear or courage, light or dark, success, failure. Everything exists on the same spectrum. So when you shift your perception of this, you can transform from one state to the other. Some call this alchemy, not in the sense of changing lead to gold, but in the sense of changing from one end of the polarity to the other. In other words, if you're fearful, understand that that you can create courage. A friend of mine I used to work with, when people would get upset, she would say, oh, you know what? That's good that you're upset because you're mad. That means you can get glad again. I always thought that was so hilarious, but it was so true to what she said as it pertains to what I'm explaining right now. The law of rhythm. Life moves in cycles. It rises and falls. It expands. It contracts. The highs don't last forever. The lows don't last forever. And what we have to do is learn how to ride these waves. We can't lose ourselves in our emotions. So we ride these waves. I remember one time I stopped at a sandwich shop after I had a bad day at the casino. None of y'all ever been to the casino before? But I had a bad day at the casino and I stopped at a sandwich shop. And the counter person, she said something that just rubbed me the wrong way. And I got way out of character and I got into a verbal confrontation with her. And after I walked out, I said to myself, what happened? Because that's not me. And what happened was I was vibrating low and I was just attracting negative energy to me and I reacted to it. So we want to get out of that. We don't want to get too high. We don't want to get too low. We just want to learn how to ride the rhythm. The next one is cause and effect. Nothing, it happens by chance. Every outcome has a cause. It's unseen. Most people think that we live by the effects, meaning that life happens to us. But when we begin to understand this, we begin to realize that we're creating. Every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. The law of gender, this is all about energy. We think, when I first heard this, I thought it was about man and about woman, but it's all about energy. There's a masculine energy and there's a feminine energy. We have to learn how to balance them and work them together. The masculine energy says, go, grind, grind. The feminine energy says, stop, think, create, art, love, peace, all those things. But what we have to do is combine both of those energies together and work them. You can't just think and wish it up. You can't just manifest it up by thinking about it. You have to go out and do something. So that's the doing something is the masculine energy. The thinking it up, the meditating it up is the feminine energy. And we have to put them together. One of my mentors, his has a formula. He says, conscious thought times action equals manifestation. So we have to go out and do something. It's so critical and it's so key. Yes, these principles, they're fascinating. They are fascinating to me. They control reality. They help us understand reality. It's pretty amazing. Yes, bear with me here. Okay, so yes. So basically, life is chaotic when these laws are unseen. But when we understand these laws, we understand these patterns, we can navigate it and we can be intentional. As I mentioned, every thought creates something, every emotion attracts something, every action sets something into motion. The real question is, are we creating it consciously or are we letting it happen to us? Understanding this is critical. If anything I said makes some sense to you, I want you to like this and I want you to share this. And in closing, I just want you to understand that these principles, once we begin to understand them, it can help us shape our life and control our destiny in essence. Having said that, once again, peace, one love, and as I mentioned, control your destiny.